Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So Samsung just unveiled two new foldable phones along with a bunch of other products. I actually got hands-on time with both the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3 in a private hands-on session at Samsung's Hong Kong office. So here are my thoughts. Let's start with the Z Fold 3. So looking at the Fold 3 from afar, or even just handling the phone for a couple of minutes, you may not notice anything immediately different from the Z Fold 2. Unlike the Fold 2, which made huge, drastic improvements over the original Galaxy Fold that you can see right away, the Fold 3 is all about making practical improvements. Samsung added more polish, more refinement to the product. So here's what Samsung did. The Fold 3 is slightly smaller than the Fold 2 in every way. It is lighter, it is shorter, it is thinner, and less wide from left to right. You can check out the numbers here. And while you can see that, they're not huge differences, they do matter for a phone that you handle every day for up to 8, 9, 10, 11 hours at a time. And plus, anytime a brand can make a phone lighter and thinner than last year without cutting features or losing specs, it's a win for engineering. Next up, the Fold 3 is also more durable. Samsung says the material used for the hinge and the aluminum railing and also the material that covers the screen are both stronger and more durable than before. The Fold 3 is also rated IPX8 for water resistance. That means it can be submerged underwater for 30 minutes and the phone should still be fine. This is huge. And I'm someone who thought the supposed fragility of foldable phones were overblown to begin with. I used the Galaxy Z Fold 2 and the original Fold 1 throughout their entire life cycle, and both phones are perfectly fine with no damage. So the third big improvement, the Galaxy Fold 3 now supports the S Pen. Only the inside screen though, not the outside screen, and you have to make a new purchase, meaning all existing S Pens that have been out, like the ones for the Note 20 Ultra or the one you got for the S21 Ultra, sadly will not work with the Fold 3. You have to buy one of two new S Pens that Samsung's releasing. There's the S Pen Pro and the S Pen Fold Edition. So the S Pen Pro is a longer stylus that works with all existing Samsung devices that support stylus. So Note 20 Ultra, S21 Ultra, Galaxy Tab S7, Galaxy Book. The S Pen Pro will work with all of those products too, as well as the Fold 3. The S Pen Fold Edition will only work with the Fold 3, nothing else. So not on the Note 20 Ultra, not on anything else before it. So there's one more noticeable change from the Fold 2 for the Fold 3, but I'm not sure this is an actual improvement. The selfie camera inside the large screen now, it's an under-screen camera, meaning the selfie camera, it's behind the screen actually covers the camera. This is new bleeding edge technology, and on the Fold 3 it works okay. When I'm using the selfie camera, the image you see on the viewfinder looks relatively sharp and clear, but at the same time, when you're not using a selfie camera, part of the screen that covers the camera is supposed to be invisible, like you're not supposed to see the camera. But when you have a white page open on the phone, like you're on a web page, you can sometimes see the selfie camera flicker behind the pixels. And also because this technology is so new, that selfie camera underneath is only 4 megapixels. So you can look at this under-screen camera in one of two ways. On one hand, it is technically impressive, technically an improvement that Samsung put new technology into the Fold 3. But then the other way is the 4 megapixel camera is actually weaker than the selfie camera in the Fold 2 because that one's a 10 megapixel camera. So if you do a lot of video calls with the inside screen, I'm not sure that 4 megapixel camera will hold up in dim lighting conditions. Now to be fair, I have not gotten a chance to try that camera thoroughly because my hands-on session was in a controlled setting and I only had about an hour with the phones, and also Samsung would not let me show you guys photo samples. Finally, there are two more upgrades to the Fold 3. There's a Snapdragon 888 on the inside, and the outside cover screen now refreshes at 120 Hz. That's about it. Everything else from the RAM used in the phone to the screen resolution to screen dimensions to even the camera hardware are basically exactly the same as on the Fold 2. I'm a little bit disappointed by the fact that Samsung didn't really improve the cameras on the Fold 3 because even though the Fold 2's cameras are pretty good, it's a trio of 12 megapixel sensors, this camera system is not as good as what we have in the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. This phone has a much better zoom lens, and the main camera has a much larger image sensor, so that pulls in more light in the dark, you get better shallow depth of field. Now, if you're thinking it's not fair to expect Samsung to be able to cram a flagship slapped smartphone camera system in a foldable phone because foldable phones are more difficult to cram components in, right? Well, that's not true because Huawei actually did it. This is the Huawei Mate X2, and it has a periscope zoom lens inside the phone as well as a main camera with a large image sensor. I think Samsung can put the S21 Ultra's camera system into the Fold 3, but it just chose not to because doing so would increase the price of the Fold 3 significantly. But I completely understand why Samsung made this decision, because Samsung wants its foldable phones to be mainstream devices. They want the foldable phones to be, you know, as ubiquitous on the streets as the Galaxy S phones, or ideally an iPhone. They don't want the Fold 3 or the Flip 3 to be some niche items that only crazy phone geeks like myself would buy. So Samsung chose to make practical improvements to the Fold 3 instead of making the most bleeding edge technology improvements. And this carries over to the price too, because the Fold 3 starts at $1,799 US. This is the cheapest a Fold phone has ever been, and it's over $1,000 cheaper than the Mate X2. So yeah, the Mate X2 is a better camera, but it's $1,000 US more expensive. Okay, now let's move on to the Galaxy Z Flip 3. So all the stuff I said about durability for the Fold 3 also applies to the Flip 3. So you have IPX8 water resistance, stronger hinge material, stronger film material that goes over the screen. The most notable improvement for the Flip 3 this year is the outside screen is much larger. It's 4 times larger than the outside screen of the last 2 Flips. And with that larger screen, you can easily see more information. Like now when you get a notification, you can actually read the entire sentence instead of like the first 3 words. Samsung also built these widgets that fits into that screen perfectly for you to control music playback, audio recording, calendar, timer, all of that. Like basic functions that you can do now without needing to open the phone every time. The inside screen has the same dimensions as before, 6.7 inches, but the refresh rate is now up to 120 Hertz. So using the phone when it's flipped open feels just like using a typical slapped smartphone, except the Flip 3 is quite a bit thinner at 6.8 millimeters. Now the cameras of the Flip 3, just like the Fold 3, did not improve much on its predecessor. The Flip 3 has 2 main cameras, both 12 megapixels, covering the main and wide. It's basically the same camera hardware used in the last Flip. So like I said for the Fold 3, these cameras are pretty good, but they're not gonna come close to matching what the S21 Ultra or the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra can do. But one silver lining for the Flip 3 is that you can close the phone and use that main camera system to take selfies. And then for a selfie camera, then it's overqualified. The Flip 3 overall looks really damn good. I love that 2-tone finish, and when it's closed, it feels so compact and lightweight. It's just a really damn stylish phone. And best of all, the Flip 3 starts at $999 US. That's 50% cheaper than what the original Z Flip sold for. And also at $999, the Flip 3 is now the cheapest foldable phone ever. So the Flip 3 has now managed to do what previous foldable phones cannot do. It is now a mainstream phone because it's more durable, it's water resistant, it has wireless charging, it has a good screen, and it has a relatively low price. There's no more barriers to keep people from buying a foldable phone if they want to try it out. So like I said before, I think this year Samsung chose to make the Fold and Flip more practical and more affordable, more appealing to more people instead of just chasing the latest cutting edge components. And that's a smart move, man, because the Flip 3, it's probably going to be a huge hit at that price. That's about it for this video. I have a lot more stuff coming up. I'm going to have a video on the Honor Magic 3 series pretty soon. Probably, hopefully get my hands on the Xiaomi Mi Mix 4 and a couple of other stuff too. And I'm going to have full in-depth reviews of the Fold 3 and the Flip 3 pretty soon. So please subscribe to my channel or follow me on Instagram at Ben's Gadget Reviews. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.